When people meet you, they have an assumed perception of you, whether it's positive or negative. And it doesn't matter what perception they have of you. People always unconsciously try to test whether or not their perception of you is correct. And how do they do that? By testing you, right? They test your strength. And depending on the signals that you send out, it's how people are going to test you. If they believe, so if every single time you're interacting with people, you're always sending people signals of strength or weaknesses, right? And so people then, through your nonverbal cues, build up a perception of you through one, how you look, two, your clothes and your adornments, three, the people that you know, and four, through your nonverbals, right? You give them an impression of you. And so the only way for people to confirm about who you are is to test you. That's all people do. They test you. And the way that they test you is pretty much subtle and unconscious. And in fact, even they're not aware of that they're testing you. The thing is that this is part of human nature. And what drives this is aggression, right? People want, at the core of all of it, people want a partner. If you're healthy, you want a partner with a strong mentality. Manipulators, narcissists want somebody with a weak mentality. But the thing is, the good partner and the bad partner, they're both going to test you. It's just what they do with the results is pretty much the difference, right? So strong and mentally healthy people are in control of their aggressive energy, right? So everyone has an aggressive energy. Why? Because as children, you notice that children are always trying to transform their environment. Children, if you don't attend to them, will always get into trouble, always go towards that little place that looks interesting. Children have this aggressive energy, and you as parents try to control it. What happens is that some kids are not allowed to be adventurous enough. Their parents are too risk averse, and so their aggressive energy gets tamped and disencouraged and punished. And so a lot of people with parents who are too controlling, with parents who shame their aggressive energy, a lot of people grow up with a tamped aggressive energy. And what does that do? Well, it turns inward. This aggressive energy turns inward. You become mentally weak. You learn to not control your emotions, right? And the reason why that is because expressing your aggressive energy was punished as a result. It was punished. Your aggressive energy might be too dangerous. Your aggressive energy might be too disruptive. Or you are a girl, you can't be too aggressive. Or nowadays, you are a man, that's toxic masculinity. And so as a result, what tends to happen is kind of surprising. The aggressive energy turns inward. And so you become shy, right? You become hedonistic because understand, aggressive energy is also creative energy, right? Aggressive energy it uses your dopamine system, right? Your reward and punishment system, your reward system. And so your reward system has two directions where you learn to find pleasure in long-term goals, or you learn to find pleasure in short-term goals, which is hedonistic, quick gratification types of things, right? Which usually leads to not having self-control, usually leads to a lot of promiscuity, usually leads to a lot of deception. It leads to lower morale, lower morality. It leads to neediness. It leads to narcissism. It leads to being too overly empathetic, being too nice, being too naive. This aggressive energy is something that also looks from the outside in, looks shy, it looks timid. You don't want to stand up to yourself. You don't want to stand up towards people who are being aggressive towards you. Why? Because this aggressive energy has become suppressed. You were told, don't do that. Don't stand up for yourself. Don't be too aggressive. Don't be too competitive. Don't be too ambitious. So that aggressive energy, you get shy, you feel bad, and so it turns inward. Right? You get more shy, you get more, and this shyness over time, this lack of aggressive energy, you start to resent your life because you're not taking action. You start to look back at your life and see how much you wasted it. And sometimes you might turn to drugs. Sometimes you might turn to quick uplifts in power, quick uplifts in money, which means trying to get quick money, quick power, which leads to corruption, committing crime, right? Or controlling your partners, being abusive, or being the one who's abused. Why? Because, like I said, when you turn the aggressive energy inward, It turns into shyness, it turns into weakness, it turns into fear, right? Because you everything around you looks too strong. You have not embraced that aggressive energy. So everything around you looks just too big for you, too powerful, right? The world looks more complicated and more chaotic. And that turns into fear. And that fear is smelled by people who are overly aggressive. Why? Because you're going to be communicating that fear in your nonverbal cues. The two emotions that show the most is happiness and fear. Those emotions are very, especially fear, is very hard to hide. Why? Because, for example, a smile, you could notice a smile a lot quicker from further distance than any emotion. But I also believe that fear is something that people could sense non-verbally, right? So by suppressing your aggressive energy, you turn inward, hedonistic, no self-control, more emotional outbursts, more neediness, more desire to control your partners, more behavior that pushes your partner away, and more behavior that attracts negativity. So what you got to do, you got to harness that aggressive energy, right? Because life has an aggressive energy, right? Everything in life is aggressive, right? When a seed is planted, it grows. So this energy has an upward aggression. If you leave it alone, it'll keep growing. And if it grows too much, it could turn parasitic. But the point is, life has an aggressive energy towards promoting itself. It wants to survive, right? People unconsciously want a person who's strong, strong person who have control over their aggression, which always leads to success, right? So when you use your aggressive energy positively, right, what tends to happen is that you become more ambitious, right? You use that aggressive energy to defend yourself against people who are aggressors. You become less, you are a little bit more difficult to deal with because you know what you want and you won't compromise it, right? And what would happen is that anytime somebody tries to control you, anytime somebody tries to exploit your niceness, you're going to turn aggression, and that aggressive energy, because you're conscious of it, because you're using it, will turn against them. And it'll prove to them that you're not as weak as they thought you were. And that will turn into respect. And they'll treat you a lot more differently, right? And the problem is that a lot of people, this is something that I do talk about in my upcoming course, The Feminine Woman. A lot of people think that niceness always gets people to become nice. No, it doesn't. The only time people respond to niceness, to your passivity, is when they feel like it is to their advantage. Is when they feel like being nice gets something out of you. But most of the time, almost every time, niceness by a law of nature does not produce more niceness in other people. In fact, it turns them more aggressive towards you. In fact, it invigorates them. What you have to be a little bit more difficult to deal with, a little bit less compromising if you're too nice, a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more defensive when somebody's trying to take advantage or use you, when somebody's trying to treat you like you're dumber than you really are. Like, too many of us let other people hit us and hurt us, and we just lower our heads and take it. We don't speak up. We don't have those uncomfortable conversations, and the relationships turns exploitive, and your relationships never feel satisfying. You can't do that. All right. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to work with me one-on-one, go to mindfulattraction.org, and I'll see you guys later. Take care. All right, if you guys enjoy these videos about stoicism, dating, relationships, self-help, moving up in life, I would recommend you guys check out some of my courses that I have for sale. These courses are courses for men and women. For example, Nice Girl, Nice Guy is a course about how to become more assertive. Natural Chemistry is a course for women that I have on how to develop strong relationships. Dark Game is a controversial course that I have for guys on how to attract women in their life and keep it. It's not as dark as it seems, but we do talk about some dark psychology in here. Psychological Game of Attraction is a course that we made for women who are single. And as you see, we have a course about how to develop charisma, Emotional Mastery, which is a course about how to develop a meditation practice and how to improve your emotional life, to become more resilient, to not let rejection hit you so hard, to be able to bounce back from failure. I have a course called Nice Guy, which is a course for guys who are single and guys who want to be able to develop more assertiveness training, right? Most of these courses come at $99. And there you can also purchase the bundle where you guys can purchase all of the courses in one go at a discounted rate, right? We have a bundle for women and a bundle for men. So click in the description down below to check them out. You can browse around and see the courses that you like. And if you don't like them, you guys can ask for a 30-day money back guarantee, and I'll give you guys the money back, okay? And in fact, we actually have a new one for women right now we're developing. It's called the Feminine Woman. So if you're a woman watching, this course is specifically to help women become more feminine, to embrace their feminine while embracing their masculine energy. And I'm actually going to make a course for that, like that for men, which is called the Masculine Man, which is a course on how to develop masculinity and develop masculine energy to attract women in your life, to attract business success in your life, to be able to be better socializing, to read people better. It's truly an all-around course. So if you guys want to check out those courses, click on the description down below where it says purchase the courses, and I'll see you guys inside. Bye-bye.